All right, guys, welcome back to Probably Podcast. We have I don't want to say like long awaited guest, but like we've all been hankering for him for a while now since you were first mentioned on the podcast. Mr. James Middleton, not to be confused with anything related to the royal family. A lot of questions about that.
Yeah, please don't confuse me with him because he looks very different as well.
Yeah, y'all do look a tad bit different. He's cute though.
I'm not related. I just want to say it out there. I'm not related to the royals.
Be a lot cooler if you were.
Yeah, I say I do. You know, when we've had some good table reservations in London, it's because I've just said my name and they've said, "Are you related?" I'm like, "Yeah, give me a good table."
Yeah. Give me chop.
That's why the Paps were there.
Oh, Paps.
Paparazzi. Sorry.
Oh my gosh,
There's
it's
a
so
lot
funny.
of
I immediately think, guys, at the end of this podcast, we're gonna have a whole list of American to British words. But when you say Paps, I immediately think Pap smear, right? Producer Gordy, you feel picking up what I'm picturing? My legs in stirrups and the worst time of the year.
Paparazzi. I'll try and say things in full this podcast so there's no confusion.
Okay. You don't always shorten words. Sometimes your words are just like straight up different.
Yeah.
Like they're just not the same words.
We'll get into that.
We'll get into that. Okay. So I did kind of want to, in the beginning, I wanted to, because obviously you guys know James as far as I've talked about him being my boyfriend and when I met him in Barcelona and like all these things that you already know about him. But if you follow James on Instagram, then you might know a little bit more about him. But for just, the straight up pod listeners, you guys are just raw dogging the pod and nothing else in my life, which I appreciate that for you guys, not having to see my antics on Instagram all the time. Let's get an intro. Like, what would you say if someone was introducing you on, I guess, a podcast? Like if they were like, introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'll just go for my
Give me your bio.
My kind of bio.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm James. Not boyfriend of Shannon. I'm James Middleton. I'm my own person, all right?
Not on this podcast, bitch.
No, in America, I'm Shannon's boyfriend, you know? No, so...
You are your own person, babe.
I'm James. I'm a personal trainer by trade, but I'd say I do a lot more than that with my career at the moment. Online coaching, mindset coaching, the whole shebang, the whole 360.
Yeah.
Grew up in London, born and raised. So a good London boy through and through.
Good London boy.
Londoner. Played a lot of sport when I was younger.
Okay.
Big rugby player. That was kind of like my dream, my passion.
He's learned about American football this
My goal.
trip, though.
I have. Fascinating sport. And I'd say, yeah, that's pretty much it. Love to travel, hence where I met you. Don't always meet girls when I travel abroad. Not
but
ones.
sometimes you do.
Not ones like you anyway. Oi, oi.
Oi is what is okay? So I found out what oi means when I met you in Barcelona because you were doing that challenge.
Yes, oi means, it's an English word. If you see something and it's
Phrase.
sexy or hot or naughty, you could say oi. So if you're walking into the bedroom naked, I might be like oi.
Okay,
Yeah.
You've literally never said that to me. Do you not think I'm sexy, hot, or naked?
That's true. I kind of shot myself in the foot there.
Literally never heard you say that once to me ever.
No, but I'm not saying that's what I would say. I'd say, oh, no, you don't know what I'm saying. Actually, I was about to go into it. I'm not going to say oi to you. It's like a friendly term.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm hoping you're a bit more than that.
Is it like a cat call? Like if you were walking down the street, like what a guy would like yell at a girl?
Possibly.
Okay.
Could be whatever you want it to be.
That was a good intro. Okay, so obviously I did what I always do when I have a guest on, and I asked questions on Instagram. The number one question, well, let's get like the obvious ones out of the way. Everyone wants to know poor James on this trip, he's been like not poor James for meeting all my friends because my friends are the fucking best, but he has been asked the exact same question, maybe like two questions over and over and over, which is to be expected. It's not even that it's small talk. I know people genuinely want to know, but
Sure.
Everyone says, is this your first time in America? Have you ever been here before? And you can take away your answers because you've got them memorized at this point.
How you like in Nashville?
How you like Nashville?
Is it different to London?
Different.
It sure is. I think my accent's getting better.
I don't.
A lot better than your English one.
My English accent is astonishing.
Terrible.
Terrible.
Mine is improving because I'm obviously hanging around with a load of Americans now, so I'm trying to fit in. I'm wearing baseball caps.
Do y'all not wear baseball caps?
I'm eating everything with my fingers.
No, you are still picking your fries up with a fork, which is so jarring and weird. It's so weird.
So, usual questions. Yes, America's very different to London in a good way. New York, obviously, quite similar.
Well, say where you've been in America before.
So I've been to New York when I was 11, doesn't really count.
Okay.
And went to California about 6 years ago, which was cool. Santa Monica, that was fun.
How long were you there?
like 2 weeks. So
Oh,
I had
wow.
a good stint there.
So you got to know California.
Yeah, I
then.
didn't go into like central LA, but it was cool. I left with a good impression of America being there. And then obviously this time around we're going other side of the country. It's a damn big country.
The best side, baby. Just kidding. If you're a California listener, I love California too. Kind of.
Yeah. Nashville's cool. I like it. Everyone's super friendly. So, and I say this a lot, and I love London. I've lived there my whole life, but the people in London are just not that friendly. And because it's a very mixed, loads of Europeans, everyone's kind of a bit like angry and feisty and
Well, it's so
themselves.
cold and gray there all the time. I'd be annoyed too.
Exactly. That's why I don't spend much time there.
It's funny because obviously being from the South where everyone is so nice, when I'm in New York, I'm like, okay, everyone is definitely like, I ain't in the South anymore. And a lot of the times, like, I think we like skipped the line because we knew someone at one point for some club. And I was like, oh my God, that's awkward. I think the people behind us like are pretty upset that we skipped the line. And my friend that I was with looked at me and goes, oh my God, you are so fucking Southern. And I was like, I know, but like, I'm just a little worried. Me, people pleasers anonymous over here. But like, I don't think the first word that comes to my mind when I think of New York is not the smiling faces, beautiful places, friendliest people around. And it's funny because when we were in New York, James just kept saying, everyone is so nice.
And I kept saying that, and everyone was like, are you crazy?
Yeah,
I'm like, you should come to London then,
Yeah.
because it's even worse there.
I know. I guess I never saw. Well, people definitely give you kind of like weird looks. Like when we would go, like, I don't know. I think I get like, I don't know if they have resting bitch faces or what, but I definitely feel like they're more judgy in London.
Yeah,
Do you feel that way?
I'd say so.
Like the girls anyways.
100%. The girls, 100%. That's why I don't have very many girlfriends in London.
They're just not very.
Because they were just a bit catty.
Okay. So that was basically where he's been in America, which was definitely like the first question. And then Nashville. Okay, so I'll run you through the trip so far. So James landed in New York. Obviously, we know we get that BA flight, sponsor me, from New York to London. You enjoyed the plane ride. It was great. No one sat beside you.
Never seen so many golf courses in one area in my life. What was the area that I flew over? It was just golf course.
It was like Connecticut.
And then those big, I was just like, I'm welcome to America. Just those big things. I don't even know what they are. They just hold water. They're the big round things.
Water towers.
Yeah, we don't have those in England.
Surely you do.
No. What are they for?
Water.
Right. That just connects to all the houses. That's where you get your water from.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, exactly. These are the kinds of questions that were going through my head when I came in. I was like, wow, these guys play a lot of golf. All of those big things in the sky. So obviously all the cool stadiums.
That is so funny. When he landed, he was like, babe, it was so cool flying in. You said there was a lot of like...
I did not say that.
Oh, you were cute. You were cute and giddy. You were like, it was so cool flying in all the fields.
Yeah.
I think there's also probably just like, well, naturally, because we're such a large country, it's just a lot of land. Like you fly over so much, like you were looking at the houses.
It's huge. And there's just so many houses in like an area, but they're all detached. So it's all it all works. In England, when you fly over in England, it's normally pissing with rain and cloudy, so you can't see anything. But it's just loads of land or just rammed tight cities.
Which is crazy because he flew into New York, but I guess he flew over probably Connecticut, Boston. I was actually tracking his flight. Did you guys know that you can type in someone's flight number into Google?
So funny. I was getting updates from you saying, "Oh, you've just flown over there."
I'm like, "Oh, you're in Canada now."
I was like, "Leave me alone."
Sorry.
I'm like, this is the 7 hours I've turned my Wi-Fi off just to get some peace and quiet.
And I was like, "Oh, welcome to Boston." That's so funny. Yeah, you can track someone's flight if you just type their flight number into Google. It'll tell you when they land, if they're delayed, what they're flying over. It shows you like everything. It's really cool. And I love tracking people. I would put a tracker on you at all times.
Yeah, I need to check my phone actually.
Yeah,
when I go back
check
to London.
it. You'll never find it.
Yeah.
SKPI, baby.
Weirdo.
That's why my mom calls herself Sharon K, private investigator, because she does be finding things out.
I mean, you girls are good at finding stuff out, a lot better than men.
Yeah.
That's why, we need to behave.
You got to be that, and that's why you got to behave.
Yeah.
So he landed in New York. We spent Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So 4 days in New York. And we had a great time. We did like a couple things. We went to one of my friends. We went to Tasha. You guys know Tasha on the podcast. She's wonderful. And we went to her event. She had like a collab with Conair, which was super cool. He got to...
Just a lot of females that I'm meeting this trip.
A lot of females.
Nothing wrong with that, obviously.
Well, yeah, actually, so the last guest I had on this podcast, John Chris, literally said in the episode, he was like, when James comes to Nashville, me and Ernest, two of my guy friends, need to take him out. And I was like, absolutely not. No.
Hey, I'm in.
I was like,
Sounds great.
no. He was like, the tunnel of Nashville of the United States can't just be through the lens of Shannon Ford. And I was like,
Yeah, because at the moment it's great, but it's a lot of pregnant women, baby showers.
okay, we had one baby shower. I have obligations as a friend. Okay, I got you. You know what? A lot of people think that we live in this fairy tale world, and everyone, you know, like the haters out there love to be like, y'all are only just vacationing together. We're not gonna live real life. This trip was been pretty real life. You went to a baby shower with me. Mm-hmm. You went to like an event with me.
I ate about 10 grams of cheese that afternoon.
Well, yeah, Courtney Cheese Gal, who's amazing. She did incredible boards for the party.
That's why I ate 10 grams.
10 grams, I don't really know. The metric system is really a doozy here for us.
Maybe like 8 ounces.
Well, you know what's funny? We don't have a 8
No
ounces. I'm like, I don't know.
Who knows?
It's not that much cheese. It's like a steak.
It's like my steak last night. I ordered a 6-ounce steak. Baby, I think you can have more than 6 ounces. I was like, you've ordered like 19 sides.
Big sides, girl.
So.
Big sides, girl. You like the sauces here.
Sauces are incredible. America, you do that well. The sauces are incredible. In England, ketchup, mayo, that's about it. If you're lucky, maybe a bit of, I don't know, truffle, butter, whatever. But
okay. We actually aren't going to be able to recap. So he hasn't met. So then we came to Nashville, obviously. And he landed. We went to Taylor's house. Fucking classic Taylor. Went to the ER. I mean, just... She was like, hey, Mike's Unhealthy Chicken is ready. We're so excited to meet James. I'm peeing blood. So, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, we'll leave. And she's like, no. I've got to eat dinner anyways. Like the way this girl navigates pain is a threshold that like, I just think most others don't, because I was like, why are you standing up and like conversing with us right now? She's like, I mean, I've got to eat anyways. So I was like, all right.
And also I rate that from Taylor a lot.
That she just,
the fact that she just was still there and wanted to meet me, even though
she was
going
so
through
excited.
So much.
I know. She was like, listen, I'm not gonna like leave and dip out the first day. I'm like, all right. So yeah, so then James' proper introduction to my life with Taylor and Walker and the Monacos, because then we stayed at the house while Mike took her to the yard because we had to wait for the rest of the help to get there. So did that. Then we went to a country music concert. We saw John Party. Summer's been on this podcast before. That was so fun. She made it also so special and cool. Gave us some backstage passes.
That was really cool. That's when I was like, I am in Nashville.
You're in Nashville,
I'm
baby.
in Nashville. And it was cool. It was great.
Yeah.
You know, like, remember the Cowboys next to us who were absolutely going wild? Those guys. It must have been like, maybe 21, 22 years old. They were having the time of their life. Yeah, that was great. You know, seeing those guys just rocking it.
I think they were like TikTokers. They had like, one of them had a little dangly earring and they kept like...
They definitely were not TikTokers. They lived in out wherever it is, in some kind of
easy does it.
Some kind of farm with a load of cattle and horses.
I gotta find a video of them and show you guys, because I want to say they were TikTokers. I took a video of them. They were like they weren't like cowboys. No one in Nashville really is like a cowboy.
Well, I guess you could be a cowboy TikToker. So
you could be a cowboy TikToker. Maybe that's something you'll do if you ever move here one day.
There's a role for everyone out here.
There's a role for everyone out here. And so then tomorrow at 10 a.m. we are going to fly to Charleston. So we're doing Charleston for a little bit just because I'm from South Carolina and I feel very lucky that I live so close to Charleston and it's beautiful. And I was like, have you heard of Charleston before? And he's like, yeah, of course. You had, right?
Did I say that?
Did I make that up?
Maybe I was lying.
Maybe I'm lying. Maybe we're both big fat liars.
Because America.
You had heard of it or no?
Yeah, I've heard of it, of course, but because America is such a big, vast country. Oh, okay. Maybe you said maybe been there.
I said no. I said, you've heard of Charleston, right? And you were like, yes, of course. And you're like, did I say that?
You said you know Charleston. There's a difference. I don't know it. I've never been. I've heard of it.
Know of it.
Anyway, America is such a big country, so my geography is kind of good, but with America. Also, that's another thing. I've met so many people over the last couple of days. Everyone's from everywhere. Here, there, everywhere. You're like, oh, you know Atlanta just up there.
New York is a transplant city, and Nashville is rarely anyone like they call them unicorns. If you're like a Nashville local, like rarely anyone is actually from here.
But it's really cool. I like that about America. You can just nip over states, live there for a bit, nip over to this one, nip over to this one.
Nip. Just a nip over there.
Calm down.
Yeah, so then we go to Charleston for I got a cute little beach house on Folly Beach, which would be like really fun. James loves the water.
Yeah.
Big beach guy.
And you're coming in with me.
I'll go in day house for a little bit.
It's good for you.
I like the ocean. Our versions of cold are very different.
Granted.
Like very different. So like I don't know how pleasant it'll be for me, but like I'll go into the ocean with you.
Yeah, a little morning dip.
And then my parents are gonna join us a morning dip.
Yeah.
That's when it'll be the coldest.
Yeah, well, no, this wakes you up.
I'll drink coffee.
Oh, and you'll go for a dip with me. naked if you don't behave.
Oh, naughty. Okay, so my parents join us 2 days later. So we'll have like 2 days by ourselves in Charleston, and then he'll get to meet my family, which is funny because he'll be meeting them in Charleston, not at the lake. But then we're going to go on a road trip with my parents back to my house, which is like an hour and 45 minutes. Yeehaw. Back in my dad's truck.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to the lake. We will be in Gilbert, America, baby.
This is what I'm looking forward to as well, because I feel like at the moment, I mean, Nashville's awesome. New York was awesome. It's been quite hectic. I'm looking forward to just chilling, being away from like a massive city, you know.
Are you excited to see like my roots?
Yeah.
Well, James said that whenever I talk to my dad,
different dialect, don't understand it. When you guys are going and you're excited and happy, which both of you are a lot of the time, I just lose it. It's hard enough understanding you like when you're trying to speak proper in English, but,
like,
but when you go full American mode, I'm like, I'm out.
That's so funny. The other day, James was upstairs and he said something. It wasn't that I couldn't hear the volume at which he said it. I just did not understand what he said. And I go, what? And then he said it again and I go, what? And you hate to ask someone what they said 3 times. Usually I'll just pretend like I know what they said, but like
I've done that multiple times as well. I just nod and smile. I don't even know what you said the third
just
time.
Like the third time is just like tough to ask again.
Most of the time we're just going, what?
But I looked at James and I go, babe, is the existence of our relationship just going to be us collectively saying what to each other? And he was like, yeah, I think so. And I was like, okay. But yeah, so then we'll do 2 days. Well, you guys, I've really tried to take him to see some American sports, especially because it is literally football season in the South, arguably the best time of the fucking year. And it's not arguably, everyone thinks that. And so I was really bummed that when we were in New York, well, I don't know if I would have taken him to a football game in New York. There wasn't one anyways. I checked. I did take him to a hockey game. I took him to see the Rangers, which I would have much rather taken him to see a Preds game. No shade to the New York Rangers, but like y'all just like don't have as cool of chance as us. When we win or score, we have like way cooler chants, way cooler music. The atmosphere is way better. If you come to Nashville, underrated, go to a hockey game. Because I feel like locals go to hockey games. I feel like if you came to visit, that wouldn't be on like your list of things you would think to do. But the Coliseum, or what do you call it, arena, the arena, Bridgestone Arena, is right on Broadway. So you could go to a game, you could go party afterwards, party before, party after. I don't know, you should go because they're fucking fun. Although the Rangers game did have lobster and sushi, which was a vibe.
That was high end.
That was luxe as fuck.
Well
so
done.
for that,
Rangers.
New York Rangers good, because if there was sushi served at a Predators game, I'd be like, did that come out of the Cumberland River? I'm not eating that at all. But yeah, the American football, I wasn't able to take him to a game not that I would really want to take him to a Vandy game either. Sorry. But
you know what though, if you did too much, then there wouldn't be stuff for me to look forward to when I come back. So I'm actually really looking forward to another time going to an American football game. Also, now I've watched it on TV and I've been with guys trying to explain the rules to me. I understand it a bit more. If I was there at a game, I have no idea what was going on, and you're sitting there for 4 hours, which is a long time to watch.
Are they 4 hours? Are football games 4 hours?
Yeah. Come on, see, I know more than you now.
Really? Producer Courtney's like, yeah, it is, bitch.
Well, around about.
Okay. Well, there wasn't, all this to be said, I was really excited when we go back home to South Carolina because my Gamecocks play, but it's an away game. It could sucky. So they'll be there and we'll be watching it from a TV at a bar somewhere. That'll be fun.
Sounds cool.
Sounds cool to me. Okay, so let's dive in. I basically just have like a list of questions and obviously we'll just bounce off each other as we ask them. But first and foremost, this is so funny. Anna Grace is actually staying here. Is she still here or did she just leave? She's upstairs. She's literally just upstairs. Her and Austin had to evacuate from Florida. So I was like, wait, this is perfect because realistically, James was only going to get to meet Taylor and like a couple other of my friends in Nashville, of course. But this was great. So Anna Grace was able to unfortunately come in due to the hurricane. But fortunately, the silver lining was that she got to meet James and Austin got to meet him. We all went to dinner last night with the boys, Mike, Taylor. And then secondly, we had a baby shower, which I just told you about from Mary Carlisle. So a lot of my friends that have moved away to Florida, to Atlanta, to all these places, flew in for the baby shower. And James got to meet them too. So that leads me to my question. What do you think about my friends? Were you nervous to meet any of them particularly?
No, I think it's one of those things where I've seen them obviously on your social media and you kind of get vibes from people.
Yeah.
But they've all been lovely, super lovely. Taylor's great. She's cool. Anna Grace is a lot of fun. Yeah, they're all great. No one I haven't been, but this is what we were talking about earlier. You know, your friends represent who you are. So
yeah,
if
so they're kind of like me.
If you're a bitch and you were someone horrible, you'd probably have bitchy, horrible friends as well. But you're an okay person, so your friends are okay. No, I'm joking. They're
Thank
probably
you.
listening. No,
No,
they're
actually,
great.
I'm like, thank you.
No, but it's true.
I agree.
It's true, right? Like you can very much tell who a person is based on their friends.
Yeah.
So they're all lovely. Just so pregnant.
Yeah, that, to be fair, when he said that, I was like, no, they aren't. And then, like, at the baby shower, too, like, obviously, Mary Carlisle, baby shower, pregnant. He doesn't know what a baby shower is. Not because he's a dude, and all dudes are stupid, but, like, he didn't know. He was like a christening, and we have them in churches. I was like, no, I need to ask your mom. I need to text Marcia.
Yeah, because I'm not too clued up with the baby stuff.
I need to see if she has... at the moment. I need to see if she has any knowledge on if you guys have baby showers or not.
Yeah,
because I would be shocked.
I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. We don't really have them. It might be called something else, maybe.
Do you guys have bridal showers when someone gets married?
It's just not really my area of expertise.
Okay, all right. Well, so anyways, we did that, and then to be fair, like 3 girls at that shower were pregnant, and then Taylor's pregnant, and then we went to the John Party show, and I was like, oh yeah, and also so exciting, Summer's pregnant.
Yeah, I was like, oh, another one, surprise. But it's because as well, it's probably the same as New York. Like London with me and my friends, a lot of my friends are starting to get married, and one of my friends' wife is pregnant. But I think when you're in a city in London, it's a bit like New York. You know, you kind of, if you're doing that, you go away and maybe move out of London a bit and start having a family outside of London. So it's not as
None
common.
of my friends in New York were pregnant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there we go.
There you go. Okay, that's fair. So the number one question we got asked, which I was like, James, like, I have to ask it just because it's funny to us because, well, we'll answer it. The number one question is like, who is moving to whose country? Or the another way they would phrase it would be like, have you guys talked about moving? If you ever did move, who would move first? Where would you move? I mean, like, just so many questions. And when we talked about it before the podcast, I was just basically like, we don't want to like rush away. Obviously, we're moving a lot. We're being a lot more serious and having more intentional conversations because we're long distance, and that I would hope we were doing that when we're a country away from each other. But yeah, I don't want to like still lose the magical moments of the beginning of our relationship, and like I don't think we have to like rush anything in the sense of that.
Exactly. And I think it's important to think about the future, of course, like with any relationship, but given the fact we only met each other in May, it's still early days, and also we're still just having fun, like going with the flow. I think probably once we've traveled a bit more and spent more time together and it goes on, then we'll probably be having those conversations. But we're also fortunate that we're both in positions with our careers where we don't have to think about, right, who's living where now.
Right. And I think realistically, if you had met someone in Colorado's a state here, and you dated them for 5 months, like, I don't think everyone would be jumping down their throats like, who's gonna move to Colorado? Who's gonna move to Nashville? Who's gonna move to Colorado? Who's gonna move to Nashville? You'd be like, oh, cool, is that working? You're all having fun? Do you get to see each other often? I think maybe like the aspect of it being separate countries, I understand why people are like, so what are y'all gonna do?
It's the obvious question. I would probably ask the same thing
too.
if I had a friend who was in the same position.
Me too. And then I did say too to James, which he was agreeing with, like, naturally being like, every time I go to London, naturally I'm like checking the place out, thinking about it, like, what would it be like to live here one day? Like, and I was like, do you think, like, while you're here, you're assessing the situation?
I've been walking around Nashville just being like, yeah, that's a plus there.
That's a plus. That's a minus.
5 guys down the road. Perfect.
Yeah. So I think naturally and James and I are pretty open. It's not like I would never feel weird asking you a question.
But also I think if we had briefly spoken about it, or if ever it got brought up and you were going, I'm not leaving America, then it would probably be a conversation more serious sooner. But we're both of the opinion and agreement of like, look, I might come to America and live here for a bit. You might come to England, live here for a bit.
That's actually a fair answer to their question. To all the people that asked, I guess we have had that discussion. Both of us on the front end were very open and honest with each other that like we were both down to the idea of living somewhere else than our homeland for like amounts of time, like chunks or parts of our lives or whatever. We both were like, yeah, I could do that. So,
and I think we both probably have similarities in terms of where, like, the kind of place we'd want to live.
Yeah.
I don't think either of us want to live in like a big city like for a long period of time. We like space and we like outdoors.
I don't think I want to raise a family in New York City, but I love New York City.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the same with me in London. So
yeah, New York and London I felt like are so similar. I think I've said this on the podcast before, but you said the same thing, right?
But on a serious note, when are you gonna move over to England?
When am I gonna move over to England? Anytime you ask me, babe. I'm just kidding, but I really would. I'm not kidding. Okay, so obviously I get asked, James and I'm like trying to decipher the conversations we've had by ourselves and then like what I've talked about on the podcast before. I think I've brought this up on the podcast before, but basically people asking like, how do you manage long distance? And we did get asked that like literally right when we first started dating. And I was like, bitch, I don't fucking know. I'm still trying to figure it out myself. I have no idea. I've never done this before. He's never done it before. But I feel like we could probably answer it now, how we're managing long distance, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, phone sex is important, so we'll just...
I told James before this, I was like, I won't ask anything like too sexual. I know your mom's listening. And then I was like, Shannon, you can't like, you can't worry about that every episode.
Yeah. Mum, you can cover your ears up for this bit. Just skip a minute.
No,
but on that communication, obviously, but again, we're not, neither of us are needy people. Neither of us are insecure.
Yeah.
We're both very much like, you go out, you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing. We're both very busy. That helps massively. Like if one of us was insecure or like, who's that guy you're with? Or, you know, who's your personal trainer? Oh, he's a good looking guy. I want you personal train with him. Like imagine it'd be a nightmare.
Hear that, Worth?
He is a good looking guy.
He is a good looking guy. And so is his wife. So is her son, really. So shouts out to the Campbell
Who
family.
else wants a shout out for being good looking?
It is a good looking family. Okay, so in all of my not all of my relationships, there's definitely some trial and error there in high school and college, but like in my past 3 relationships, I've been very trusting. Like I think I'm a trusting person. I would never get into a relationship in my adult age that I didn't trust the person. So,
and to be fair, that's credit to you, because I know you've said you've been treated badly or been cheated on, right?
In high school.
Okay,
but like
a long time ago.
Relentlessly.
Because
fuck you, Jordan, if you're listening to this.
Wow. Because
my dad still hates you.
Yeah, me too. Because if you're treated badly in a relationship, and let's say you're cheated on time and time again, naturally that's going to affect the way you are, right? You're going to carry that with you. But at the same time, and I get asked this a lot, how do you trust other people? The only thing you can really do is just trust yourself and be true to yourself.
Yeah.
If someone's going to cheat on you, as bad as it is, and I think it's a terrible thing, they're going to cheat on you.
Yeah, true.
And that's kind of fate. And then you guys aren't meant to be together, and it's hard to swallow that pill. But as long as you're being good to yourself, then at least you can walk away and you're like, I'm a good person, and you will eventually meet someone who is of the same.
Yeah, and I mean, not that it's so cliche and whatever, but like everything's a lesson. Like I don't know, I'm sure I learned, and I know for sure I learned, like being cheated on relentlessly in high school. Again, fuck you, Jordan. Like that taught me a lot. It taught me what absolutely not to accept, and I'm glad I figured it out earlier than later. Like, you know, my friends, I don't really have any friends that are being cheated on now in my life, but like in an adult age, it's so much harder to get cheated on. Like at this point in our lives, when you're thinking about marriage and kids, and you're like sharing your life with someone outside of high school.
Like, still happens though.
Of course it does. No, I'm saying it's like I learned a lot, and I'm happy I did. Like I'm not happy I got cheated on, but in a way I am, because from a young age I was like, I will never ever put up with that again, and I haven't. Like luckily I've never been cheated on again. So that's just like it helped my picker. When I started picking people, my picker was like on it. And so,
and I think on that, you have to be picky with people.
Yeah. With
who you're with. You don't, I've got a lot of friends and people that I know who have met someone and it's been great, and then they kind of get older, and then they're in that settle mindset. Like they just settle. Don't settle. Like don't. Because the longer you settle, like you don't want to be waking up next to someone for the rest of your life thinking, oh, I've got to do another day with this person. Like imagine how bad that is.
It's a long time. And you have to have sex with that person for the rest of your life, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. And like imagine waking up in the morning and being like, oh, I can't wait to get out of this bed and just do my own thing.
Yeah. Not a vibe. Don't settle.
So be picky.
Be picky. I think long distance for us has just been communicative, and really
but also like, not to be, it is sometimes we both say it's hard, it's shit, and it's tough, and we're like, oh, I really miss you, and it's like, oh, I'm sick of just missing you, I just want to see you. And I think it's especially when we're doing things by ourselves, like even like little things. I know, because I go to bed before you, obviously in London, and you said to me that time, I just kind of, you know, in the evenings when I'm not doing much, I wish I was just kind of like chilling with you, hanging with you.
Yeah, it's like the mundane tasks that you like wish someone else was a part of. And it's funny because I've told everyone that's asked me like, how's long distance, do you think it's hard? I'm like, the distance is not as hard as I thought it would be. It's the time zone for me that like, I like cried a couple weeks ago because I was just like so
Aw,
sad
did
and
you?
frustrated with like the time I lose with you because you wake up and you get all your stuff done because you're 5 hours ahead.
When did you cry? You didn't tell me that.
Oh, I don't have to tell you every time I cry.
No, but I'd like you to.
Okay.
Not every time you cry. If it's to do with me, I do.
Okay, I'll
I
tell
don't
you.
care if you cry because you
Broke a nail.
Yeah,
You're
or
gonna say
do
something.
Something else.
So actually that really hurts when you break an acrylic nail, just FYI. So yeah, I basically was just like, he wakes up and he gets all of his stuff done in the morning while I'm, in my REM sleep. And then I wake up around 12 o'clock his time, 11, 12 o'clock his time. And then we chat a little bit during the day. And then I talk to him when he's like winding down. He's off work. He's, relaxing, cooking dinner, telling me about his day. And then he goes to sleep. Then my favorite part of the day is like that wind down time, that like 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Just like really nice, almost kind of like relaxing time. And I don't get that with him. And it's just like, yeah, I got like really sad. I feel like the time zone fucks with me more. I wouldn't be as upset if you were in a different country, but we were on the same time zone.
Sure.
It would just
Yeah.
be nicer.
But then you've got to think, and again, you've just got to look for the positives. When I think about that, I'm like, well, at least I'm not in Australia and you're
True.
here, because
There's
then
always a
that's-
silver lining. There's
you know.
always someone that's got it worse. So I just have to say, like, if there's anything really hard about long distance, it's probably that. Another thing, which I was like, some of these questions, I was like, ooh, I'm excited. I want to know the answer to that. I want to hear him say this. Was everyone wants, and so I will be quiet. Who? Me? Never. I will not
Oh,
interrupt.
wow.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna interrupt you, but like I might pipe in a little bit here and there. But
That's one thing that I don't think I'll ever die of is boredom in this relationship.
stick with me, kid. Keep life interesting. Wait, someone asked, we don't even have to do this, but someone was like, what's the first word you think of when it comes to Shannon? And he was like, first of all, you made a face. I can't reenact the face, but you made a face. And then you said,
Fun.
Like he almost like
No,
rolled
you
his
are
eyes.
fun. You are fun. You are fun. I'd rather someone chew my ear off than not say anything.
Chew your ear off. That sounds like I'm yelling at you.
Have you not heard that expression?
Doesn't it mean if you're getting your ass chewed?
It's one thing so for example, if you go to a party and someone's done far too much cocaine, they'll chew your ear off because they're just no.
Oh my God.
That's one example of it. But generally, chewing your ear off is just someone talking a lot. But it's like
Baby,
I
I've
said,
been doing this since birth.
Yeah.
No drugs needed. No drugs needed for that.
I know.
Okay, so everyone asked, and I will try my hardest to not pipe in. I want to hear your full, because we obviously did this on Once Upon a Barcelona. I gave my perspective, but I want your point of view, James's POV of meeting me in Barcelona the night we like crossed paths.
Yeah.
From the first time we did it to, okay,
Sure.
I'll let you go.
And it's still so vivid in my head.
Really?
Yeah,
I wanted to wear
even
the
just
shirt.
it's almost like the whole journey. It's like my brain has like screenshotted, like parts of it, like
Yeah.
when we were together.
I really wanted to wear the shirt that I was wearing in Barcelona, but I left it in New York. But that would have been cute. If I had
that
it
would
on.
have been cute. It would have got me all distracted.
Oh.
So yeah, I was there with my best friend Angus, and we were just doing a week away because our friend was cycling from London to Barcelona, Gossi, and
Insane.
And we were going to go we were going to be there 5 days before and see him on the Friday when he came in, and I can work anywhere in the world, which is great. I can just run my business from my laptop, so that's cool. So went to Barcelona. First night, didn't really have dinner plans. Being blokes, didn't really book anything, being a bit useless. And then we just managed to get something in the restaurant underneath Soho House. Last minute booking, we were running late. So and like my friend and I, so my friend's also a tall guy, big guy. We've got big stride lengths, right? So we were
Stride lengths, like you, long legs.
Yeah, we were bolting to dinner because we were late and we just managed to get a reservation. So cruising through the streets of Barcelona, slight bead on, which means sweat.
Sweat beads.
Sweat beads.
Because
it was
so
hot.
many different words.
It was hot in Barcelona.
It was.
And I remember walking and then just as you do, looking around, which actually kind of makes me think this is why it's important when you're walking down streets, particularly if you're single and you're looking for someone. Not that I was, but this is just a point of observation.
You weren't single?
Huh? No, but I'm saying even if you're like not single, like walking down the street and not being on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
You like if I was on my phone glued to it, I wouldn't have seen you.
Yeah, true.
So, I was looking around and then I
Taking it all in.
see on the right hand side of me, I see you and Marissa, but obviously you caught my attention with your bright green top and ginger hair. And I was like, I said to my mate, I said to Angus, wow, look at that girl. He was obviously in a relationship at the time, so he didn't really care. But I was like, mate, she's so fit. So and he's
Fit
like,
means hot.
yeah,
And
hot. So fit.
no, I shouldn't have said that. Damn it.
Yeah.
Look at that girl. Come here,
Been
baby,
to the
give
gym
mama a
5 days
kiss.
in a row. So I said that to him, and he was like, he just went, oh, cool. And just, we kept walking. And I remember just turning around and thinking in my head, you know, when you have that thing, like, should I go and say hello?
Yeah.
Or just do something? But then in my head, I'm like, no, like, she's probably got a boyfriend. She's good looking. Of course she's going to be with some fella. And I'm late for dinner. So we carried on bolting. Little did I know, you and Marissa were charging behind us, trying to catch us. Had no idea.
Massive question was
No
like,
idea.
did you know where you were? And then I thought, I've never really asked you. I've told you before that we followed you for a while, but I never asked him straight up. I was like, you never one time looked behind it. You
Yeah,
never
because
knew
in
we
my
were-
head, I was thinking, why would they then? Because in my head, I'm thinking, oh, she probably hasn't really even seen me. So I've
We
just
saw
seen
you.
her. And, you know, there we were, off to dinner.
Yeah.
Have dinner, go up to Soho House, have some drinks. It's still just baffled. It's crazy that like the decisions we all made led to us meeting each other again. Like, you know, if we hadn't have gone for a drink at Soho House, we wouldn't have seen you. If my mate hadn't have, the most weird thing ever, gone and got peach iced tea after we just had like 4 like tequilas before bed.
No,
like,
it's funny because when I tell the story, I'm like, I go, sorry, I'm being so lame. And then I'm like, and Marissa, of course, is like, it's not lame, it's true. But I was like, little things I thought about. Like, I remember I wanted gelato, and Marissa was like, no, I don't really want any.
because you were
like,
eating the gelato, weren't you?
like
crossing
seconds
the road.
before I met you. Yeah.
Slurping it up. I
No.
remember.
And so I was like, I just remember saying, like, if I hadn't stopped to get gelato, we would have not, because it wasn't like, this is a good point that Marissa made the other day when we were at the bar. She was like, it wasn't like we ran into you at a restaurant where you were stationary for an
For
hour.
sure. We were both passing.
We twice had to, within seconds of each other, physically pass each other on the street. So that the chance of that happening is so much smaller than if you were in a bar or in a restaurant or in a hotel and I had seen you while you were sitting there.
But also, like, you are striking in the sense that if I'd seen a good-looking blonde girl, in my mind, I would have been like, oh, you know, another good-looking blonde girl. Like, seen loads of them before, but it was just, it was like,
You probably would have remembered if you saw the same girl again.
yeah. But there was just something like different about you, I remember, and yeah. So then the second time, obviously Angus had gone into the shop at this point, and he was a little bit ahead because I'd slowed down to kind of basically stare. Yeah.
Oh, to stare?
To stare at you, to look, because you were crossing the road. And then I remember, I think Marissa actually was the one who shouted, "Hey!"
She did because we were a little drunk and we were. I was
Yeah,
like,
I'm
"There are
glad you
those
were.
guys again." And then I was like, "This time we've got," because last time we didn't do anything except for creepily follow them. And then I remember I was like, "I got it. I'll smile." And then she's like, "Bitch, I'm saying something." And I was like, "Oh,
yeah." And then you came over. It was just Angus had gone into the shop. It was
Yeah.
just me, and then we both just started talking, and yeah, that was that.
yeah."
Crazy.
But we both lied and said it was like, "What are you up to?" And we're like, "Oh, we were about to go grab another drink." He was like, "Yeah, we're about to go grab another drink too."
Yeah, and obviously Angus, he literally was so tired, wanted to go to sleep, had no interest, and he was like, "Guess I'm going for a drink then."
He was such a trooper. He
Yeah,
was
he
a really
was.
good wingman.
He was. And then, but immediately I remember speaking to you, and we were talking about how, well, I didn't really, and also people have asked me this, oh, did you know who Shannon was before? La, 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 la.
People
I
asked me
had
that too.
no idea who you were.
I didn't
Like,
have any
You
idea.
said you did social media. I was like, oh, cool, me too. Like,
No,
we all kind of.
we were actually kind of rude to him because not rude. I shouldn't say rude, but like, okay, so we originally were gonna, when we went to Ibiza, we were gonna have this boat day, and it was a collaboration with this like actually really cool company. No free ads, but I'm gonna shout them out because they're really great and do collab with me often. It's called Boat Setter. If you ever need to shake your ass on a yacht, use Boat Setter. It's a cool app where you can just like get a boat in any country, whatever. And so we had planned to do that, and I think it was like early on, and as we hadn't left that little shop yet area, we hadn't even gone to get another drink yet. And Marissa was telling Angus the rest of our plans, and we were like, y'all should take a little hour flight to Ibiza because we have this yacht with no one to go on it but us. And because of it being social media, and Marissa, what a gal, she was like, but y'all better not say anything when she takes a bunch of pictures and videos because it's a collab, because she does social media. And your friend and
Yeah, I
Angus
was like,
goes,
hold on, honey.
you do it social media. And I thought they were about to make fun of me, and I was like, I do, yep, I have a podcast, 'cause I'm trying to do this thing where I'm not ashamed of what I do, and I'm like, I have a podcast, I do social media. And they were like, whoa, chill, so do we. And I was like, you do? Like, it was so random. And then I thought, yeah, he probably is not fucking, doesn't really do it like that much. And then I went to your scheme, I was like, oh, he like does social media as well. So
Yeah.
that was really random. But I actually get a couple messages that are like, as if he didn't
But
know
I
who
didn't
you
know.
were.
I don't think I'd even.
I'm not that-
It was only the day after where I was like, oh, I'd look you up.
I didn't look you up when you were in front of. We were together
No.
with each other in front of each other's faces. We would have had no time to
Exactly.
look each other up. I don't think I
Exactly.
remembered your last name at that point.
It would have been a bit weird.
Yeah, and also I'm not so vain to think that he knew who I was. Like I think it's totally normal that a guy in England that was in Barcelona wouldn't know a random girl influencer in
But for me, it was
America.
nice because I had this weird thing in my head where I was like, I'm kind of fascinated by American girls, and I've never really met one properly or hung out with one, and I was like, I kind of want to date one. But this was before this was before I met you.
Was I on your bingo card?
This was before I met you, and I was just thinking, it would be cool to go out with an American girl or just see what that. And this was the kind of thought that I've been having a while because of all my like previous failed relationships. I was just like done with English girls and London girls. Like not all English girls, I'm saying, but
I don't think I have that many English listeners, so
and,
roast them. I'm just kidding.
And yeah, so that and initially I was like, oh, American girls, and I know Americans notoriously have a reputation for being quite fun and like loud and like outgoing. So I thought, I think we might have a little good time here.
Yeah, I actually, to be fair, I was like, what was I on your bingo card? Like, you thought you'd always date an American. Was I just the American you decided to give a go? But I mean, like, it's ridiculous not to say that all American girls are like, oh, if only we could meet a guy with an accent. Like, a guy that has an accent, we're just like, sold. So to be fair, we're also just as curious.
Yeah, I'm just being completely honest.
Yeah, nice. Okay. So then we saw each other. Okay, I guess the rest of it, we were both there for it. So
The rest of it is history. I won't go into detail.
They know.
What happened
Oops.
in the hotel room?
Oh, please don't.
No, we had strawberries and champagne.
We did have. Okay, to be fair, there was strawberries and champagne in the hotel room, and we did.
I remember our first kiss. Like it was yesterday. That was good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good kisser. Check. Good to know. Okay, so with that being said, the first impression of me, mine was. I'll give you my first impression of you first. I thought you were young. I don't know if I've told the podcast this. I lied about my age.
Yeah, you lied. You weirdo.
I lied.
I was like 24.
I thought he was like 24. You have such a baby face. And then to be fair, your friend is Angus is
24.
young. Angus is 24. So like I saw these two guys and I was like, oh, well, I also, another first impression, I was like, this guy's fucking blind because they didn't stop and talk to us the first time we saw him. No, but I've said this before. I'm like, do I have body dysmorphia where I think I'm way hotter than I am? Because like me and Marissa started after you guys didn't turn around and look at us and after you guys were like bolting away from us, I was like, well, they probably have girlfriends. And Marissa's like, yeah, and they look like pretty young. They're probably these little like models in town or something.
That's the classic like justifying why
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
not
oh,
gonna stay or
fully. I was like, oh yeah, they're probably like fucking 24.
Well, that was like me saying I should probably got a boyfriend. And,
Yeah, but we were justifying the seemingly like the rejection that we felt from you guys, sprinting away from us. And Marissa's tall too, so we were walking fast. Marissa said yesterday to you that I'm a fast walker, but she's never seen me walk as fast as I did when we were following you guys.
You're the fastest walker in the world.
Well, I think I thought you were young and I lied about my age, which this is even weirder. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that I'm a bad liar, but when he asked me how old I was, he asked me first, and it wasn't in a weird way. We were talking about something with like career or something. He was like, well, exactly. Well, actually, how old are you? And I was like, 27. At the time, I was 28. Well, still I'm 28. I was like 27, and he was like, oh, okay, gotcha. I'm 28, and I was like, fuck. I was like, why did I lie about my age by 1 year?
When you told me the next day in my head. Number one, I was kind of just being like a bit sympathetic.
Well,
I was like, listen, people forget their age. Maybe you just turned 27.
Tell them how I told you the next day.
Well, in the morning, yeah,
in the morning we were like laying next to each other naked, and we were just like talking and having like some like deep conversation, and we were like, he was like, yeah, something. He's like, will you get it? Because obviously you said you were 27 and I'm 28, and I go, actually, I'm not. I go, I don't know why I lied about that, but I'm actually 28. And he goes, oh, okay, well, that's fine.
I quite respected and valued the honesty. I
said,
it was funny.
no.
In my head, I was also thinking it's cute. In my head, I was like, it's cute that she lied about her age.
Oh, I straight up said to him, I go, no,
I was like,
lied to you.
That means she likes me because she wanted to be like, young and.
I go, no, I lied. He goes, what do you mean? And I was like, no, I lied. I thought you were younger than me. So I was like, I'm 27. And he looked at me so confused and he goes, why'd you lie? There was
2%. There was 2% of me that was thinking, is this girl like some crazy lying, like compulsive liar? Like, what am I like? Is this going to be?
Compulsive liars tell you they lie. Don't compulsive liars lie and hope they get away with it.
Anyway, what was your first impression of me? You've gone like round the back and not quite answered it.
Around your elbow to get to your asshole. That's a nice American phrase.
Oh.
I don't think they add hole. I think they just say ass. So I think my first impression was that you were really young. And then I remember when we were talking, I'll give a first impression.
Can we have some compliments, please? That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah. I'm saying I'll give the first impression, I would say falls under the first like 30 minutes of meeting someone, don't you think? And my first impression was like, you were just so well spoken and you just like, I didn't know what you did at the time. I don't even think you really told me other than like something vague like social media. And then you just started talking about like your life and you were just so well spoken and not in like the English way. Like you just sounded posh. You were just like I wanted everyone else to go away and I wanted like time to stop and I just wanted to like talk to you for hours and hours and hours, which we did end up doing that night. But I just really, you were just such a good conversationalist and I just really.
Talked for hours, didn't we?
We did talk for hours eventually. We were saying things for sure. I just really loved like talking to you and I wanted to know like everything about you. I wanted to like jump into your mind and just like
I think for me it was the fact I knew immediately that you were an intelligent woman and you had some brains on you, because you can meet a lot of good looking guys and girls who just don't have much substance and immediately it's like someone's deflated a balloon. But for me, that was it, and we just seemed to just connect and just talk. And it was almost like we didn't have enough time to like finish what we wanted to say because it was just
we had to go to sleep.
Yeah,
we were tired. Yeah.
The
next day when we saw each other again, when we were at Soho House, and they literally closed the lights and were like stacking chairs and they're like, "You guys have to go." I remember thinking like, I really want to go back to the hotel anyways, because I want to sleep with this guy again. But like, I really want to keep talking to him.
Yeah, and I think that's when I knew in my head, oh, this is a bit different. I've never connected with someone like this immediately, and being like, I don't want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like I want to just keep talking. But it was like 6 a.m.
Yeah, we were really tired.
We could literally hear like the freaking birds tweeting.
You're really good. Okay.
I slept on the sofa. That was a terrible night's sleep.
Okay, actually that's interesting because I don't think I ever told this story. Well, I wasn't like in the very beginning. I wasn't sure if we'd really be a thing. So I wasn't giving all the details. Now these things are rushing back to me. This is funny to say. So where we first met, me and Marissa, we were staying at the Hotel Arts. It's a beautiful hotel in Barcelona. And I sprung.
That was another thing. You had this like big ass suite, and I was like, okay. Social media seems to be working well for this girl.
Mama likes to splurge on vacation. What was it we were just talking about in the last episode or 2 episodes ago with my life's purpose? It's to, what did Anna Grace say? To just enjoy abundance. I'm like in Barcelona, abundance. So we were staying at the Hotel Arts and I sprung for the suite because I thought it would just be fun. And me and Marissa were like, let's fuck it up. Let's have fun and just like go on a girls trip. So that being said, the suite had a bedroom and then like downstairs, it was like a living room. I think it's on my Barcelona highlight and on my Instagram. But so James and I were downstairs. Obviously, I wasn't going to kick Marissa out of the bed with this guy I met. So I was like, you go upstairs. We'll be down here. She's like, and she even said, are you sure y'all don't want the bed? I was like, dude, absolutely not. Go upstairs. There was even a bathroom downstairs. So I was like, no, you're good. But the couch didn't pull out into a bed or anything. So James and I had just talked for so long. And then after we were done talking, I was like, we was going to go to bed. And he was like, it's okay. I'll sleep down here. You can go upstairs to the bed. And I remember thinking like, classic Shannon, like wanting to be the cool girl, but also like, I didn't want to be weird. Like this guy was basically saying like, you can go upstairs and sleep. And I didn't know if he was actually being nice or if he was like, I don't want you to sleep on this couch with me. I'd rather just like go to sleep alone on my on the couch.
There was no room for you anyway.
It was a small couch.
Yeah.
So I just basically was like, I didn't press him on it. I was like, are you sure? And then I did say this though. I did.
Did what?
I said, let me call down and get you some blankets and pillows because the couch had not even a throw blanket. No,
Sure.
There's nothing.
And this is obviously 6 a.m. So the concierge is like, oh my God. Like,
No, he said don't call. You said don't.
Oh, really? I thought you called.
They didn't answer.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right.
You did call.
Yeah.
And they didn't have anything. I remember.
Or they just didn't answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was something like that, but you were like, I'm fine.
They were like, you're in a suite and you want blankets. What's wrong with the bed?
Yeah, I don't know if I think they just didn't answer, but I basically was going to go upstairs and give you a blanket from upstairs. And that's when you were like, no.
And I said no. In hindsight, I would have taken that in a heartbeat now because what I did is, and I was thirsty at this point because we were just like
talking so much,
sipping on champagne and just chewing through strawberries. And for some reason in your, like, you're in a suite, I couldn't find a single bottle of water, and you're not meant to drink the tap water in Barcelona, because it's filthy and it gives you an upset stomach. So I was there like dry mouth. It's basically broad daylight because it's like 7 a.m. at this point. It's cold because the aircon is pumping, because you guys love aircon, cold.
That we do.
I'm not going to sleep in my t-shirt and stuff because I'm going to have to put it on in a couple of hours. So I just like in my boxers. So then what I do is there's like, I'm on this sofa and there are these like big log pillows. So I just like put the log pillow over me. That covers my bottom half. I'm still freezing up top. So I get like this napkin from the champagne thing.
If I
put the napkin over my chest like this, and I'm just sleeping and thinking like, I should have taken the blanket.
If I would have come downstairs and seen this man take the cushions off the couch, they were like the brick cushions that are like on the bottom of the couch.
They like wobbled every time I moved.
They were like the big square cushions of the couch. He took them off, put them on top of his body, and then had a tea towel.
I had to sleep like
on
this.
his chest. I
couldn't move. Like normally I lie on my side. If I went on the side, the pillow's on the floor, the tea towel's off. I just had to sit like this.
The tea towel's gone.
And I could just hear the siren. You know, like remember the morning, those sirens
there
going.
were sirens going so loud. Well, all that being said, the very next day, whenever I told Marissa, like, I think I'm going to see this guy again. I think we're going to go to, he invited me to dinner, whatever. Marissa was like, you know what? I'm going to call ahead of time, get blankets, pillows, the whole 9 yards. You guys take the bedroom. And I was like, no, stop it. Seriously? And she's like, yes, fuck him in the suite. And I was like, okay.
Nicely put.
Nicely put for everyone listening. Okay, guys, so we are going to upset you and bring you much joy. We are going to make this a part 2. So I am going to, James and I are actually going to go upstairs and change so that my videos are more aesthetically pleasing. And we are going to record the rest of this, but it is going to be available next week. But you're not going to want to miss it because there is a lot more. These questions are great. They get juicier. They get better. Stay tuned next Tuesday. Don't hate me. Love you. Bye.